If you are over 50 and you keep going to bed with a heavy stomach, slow digestion, bloating, or that stuck feeling in your belly, tonight's small fruit habit may change everything. Because one fruit, eaten the right way before bed, may help your digestion feel lighter by morning. And no, it's not banana, it's not apple, and it's probably not the fruit you were expecting. Stay with me, because in a moment, I'm going to tell you exactly what this fruit is, why it works differently from many others, and the one bedtime mistake that can ruin the benefit completely. If you often wake up feeling puffy, sluggish, constipated, or uncomfortable, this is something you'll want to hear. The fruit is kiwi. Yes, kiwi. That small green fruit that many people ignore at the grocery store may be one of the smartest bedtime choices for adults over 40 and 50 who want gentler digestion. But here's the surprising part. Most people have no idea why kiwi helps. They just think of it as another fruit, another snack, another healthy option. But kiwi is different in a few important ways, and once you understand those, you may start looking at it very differently. Now, let me be clear. This is not magic. It is not an overnight cure for every gut problem. If you have serious pain, bleeding, unexplained weight loss, severe reflux, or ongoing digestive symptoms, you need proper medical care. But if your problem is the very common kind, slow bowel movements, mild constipation, a heavy stomach, that uncomfortable I still don't feel empty feeling, kiwi may be one of the simplest things you can try. And the biggest mistake people make with kiwi at night, I'll explain in just a moment. First, let's talk about why digestion changes so much after 50. As we get older, the gut often slows down, not always dramatically, sometimes quietly. You may not notice it at first, but meals sit longer. Bathroom routines become less predictable, bloating becomes more common, your stomach feels more sensitive, and foods you used to handle easily can suddenly feel like too much. This is where it gets frustrating, because many people assume they need a complicated fix. A powder, a detox, an expensive supplement, a harsh laxative. But here's the surprising part. Sometimes the body responds best to something simple, gentle, and consistent. That is where kiwi stands out. Kiwi contains fiber, but not in that heavy, brick-like way some high-fiber foods hit people. It also contains natural compounds that may help the digestive process move along more smoothly. That means for some people, kiwi does not just sit there. It helps the gut do what it was meant to do. And that matters more than ever after 50. Because when digestion is off, everything feels off. Your sleep, your mood, your energy, your appetite the next day, even your patience. If you wake up feeling backed up, heavy, and uncomfortable, the whole day starts wrong. Now let's break this down simply. Why kiwi? There are 3 big reasons. First, kiwi can support regular bowel movements. This is the part many people love most. Some fruits sound healthy but leave you bloated. Some are too sugary. Some feel too heavy at night. But kiwi has earned attention because many people find it helps them go more comfortably and more regularly. Not violently, not urgently, just more naturally. And for adults over 50, that matters. Because harsh solutions often create new problems. You don't want a bedtime habit that leaves you running to the bathroom at midnight. You want something gentler, something that works with your body, not against it. But here's the surprising part. Kiwi is not just about more fiber. If it were only about fiber, then every high-fiber snack would feel the same. And they don't. A lot of people get bloated from fiber bars, bran cereals, or big bowls of rough fruit. Kiwi tends to feel lighter for many people. That's part of what makes it so useful. Second, kiwi may help the stomach feel less heavy. Now this part gets very interesting. Some people say that after dinner, food just seems to sit there. They feel full too long. They feel pressure. They feel like digestion slows down the moment evening starts. If that sounds like you, listen carefully. Kiwi contains natural compounds that may support breakdown of food more smoothly. That can matter especially after a heavier dinner or after 50, when your stomach may not feel as efficient as it once did. Most people don't know this, but the goal of a smart bedtime snack is not just to be healthy. It's to be easy on the body. That's a huge difference. A snack can be healthy on paper and still be terrible before bed. Too much fat? Problem. Too much sugar? Problem. Too much volume? Problem. Too much fiber too fast? Also a problem. Kiwi is small, simple, hydrating, and for many people, easier to handle than the wrong nighttime fruit. Now here comes the third reason kiwi stands out. It may help you feel lighter by morning, not heavier. This is where it gets powerful. A lot of people eat at night in a way that makes morning worse. Cookies, ice cream, late cereal, bread and butter, banana smoothies, sweet yogurt. Then morning comes and they feel swollen, sluggish, and constipated. Then they blame age. But here's the surprising part. Sometimes the problem is not age, it's the bedtime routine. And when you replace a heavy, sugary, or gut-irritating snack with something lighter and smarter, the body often responds quickly. Not because kiwi is magic, but because you finally stop giving your gut the wrong job before sleep. And the biggest mistake people make? Eating kiwi the wrong way, or expecting it to cancel out a terrible nighttime routine. That is the mistake. If you eat a huge late dinner, then dessert, then snacks, then lie down immediately, kiwi is not going to rescue all of that. You cannot overload your gut and then expect one fruit to fix everything. This is where it gets dangerous. People hear about a helpful food and then use it as permission to ignore the bigger pattern. Don't do that. Kiwi works best when it becomes part of a smarter evening habit. So what does that look like? Simple. Eat dinner earlier if you can. Keep the evening lighter. If you want a bedtime fruit, have 1 or 2 kiwis, not a giant fruit bowl, and give yourself a little time before lying down. That is how you help your body. That is how you work with digestion instead of fighting it. Now let's talk about why this matters emotionally too. Because if you've dealt with slow digestion for a long time, you know how draining it can be. You start thinking about your stomach too much. You start worrying about what will happen tomorrow morning. You start planning around the bathroom. You feel older than you are. You feel uncomfortable in your own clothes. You lose that light, easy feeling in your body. As we get older, we want relief that feels simple and realistic. Not extreme, not complicated. Not something that takes over our life. That is why small habits are so powerful. 1 kiwi before bed may seem too simple, but simple is often what works best when you actually do it consistently. But here's the surprising part. Not everyone should eat kiwi the same way. This is where paying attention matters. If your stomach is very sensitive, start with 1 kiwi, not 2. If you've been eating almost no fiber lately, go slowly. If you tend to get acid reflux at night, don't eat anything and then lie flat right away. And if seeds bother your digestion, pay attention to how your body feels. This isn't about forcing the fruit. It's about testing it wisely. Most people don't know this, but even healthy foods work best when you introduce them with a little patience. That's especially true after 50. Now let's talk about the bedtime timing. When should you eat it? A good general idea is not right before your head hits the pillow. Give it a little space. Enough time that your body isn't trying to start digestion the exact second you lie down. Because the goal is gentle support, not extra nighttime work. And the biggest mistake people make, I promised I'd explain it. Here it is. They turn kiwi into dessert. They slice it into sugary yogurt. They pour honey on top. They eat it with cookies. They blend it into a sweet smoothie. Or they add it on top of an already heavy late-night meal. And then they say, it didn't help. Of course it didn't. You buried the benefit under sugar, excess food, or bad timing. Kiwi works best when you keep it simple. Plain kiwi. Maybe 1 or 2. Not a whole production. Not a sugar event. Not a midnight fruit buffet. This is where people overcomplicate something that should stay easy. Now let me tell you what many adults over 50 notice when a bedtime food is actually helping them. They wake up less heavy, less puffy, less backed up. Their stomach feels calmer. Their morning routine feels easier. They feel less pressure, less strain, less frustration. That's what you want, not a miracle. A smoother morning. And honestly, that can change your whole day. Because when your digestion starts the day right, your energy is different. Your patience is different. Your food choices are different. Your body feels more cooperative. That matters. Now, is kiwi the only fruit that can help digestion? No, of course not. There are other fruits people use for bowel support, but here's the surprising part. Some of those can be too sugary, too concentrated, too gas-forming, or too heavy for certain people at night. That's why kiwi is such an interesting middle ground. It's gentle enough for many people, effective enough to be worth trying, and small enough to fit into real life. You don't need to buy a blender. You don't need a recipe. You don't need to memorize a gut protocol. You just need to try the right habit the right way. And if you find this helpful, consider subscribing, because on this channel we talk about simple daily habits that can improve digestion, energy, sleep, and overall health after 40 and 50 without drowning you in confusing health advice. Now let's go one level deeper. Why do so many people ignore the simplest solutions? Because simple feels too ordinary. People think the answer must be expensive, complicated, new, trendy. But real health often improves through quiet habits repeated consistently. More walking, better meal timing, less overeating at night, more water, and yes, sometimes one simple fruit. That's not boring. That's wisdom. And after 50, wisdom should guide your habits more than hype. Now, I also need to say this clearly. If kiwi makes you feel worse, listen to your body. If you get itching, swelling, stomach pain, or a bad reaction, stop. If constipation is severe or new, don't try to solve everything with fruit alone. If your symptoms are ongoing, get checked. But for many people who just need a gentler nightly reset, kiwi is one of the smartest things to test. And test is the right word. Not worship, not assume. Test. Try it for a few nights. Notice your morning. Notice your comfort. Notice your bathroom routine. That is how you learn what your body actually likes. Most people don't know this, but your body gives feedback very quickly when a bedtime food is right or wrong. Wrong food? Bloating, reflux, heaviness, restlessness. Right food? Calmer belly, lighter feeling, better morning. That's what you're looking for. Now let's close the loop. What is the one fruit to eat before bed if you want to support digestion overnight? Kiwi. Not because it's trendy, not because it's exotic, but because for many adults over 40 and 50, it offers something rare, a simple, light, gentle fruit that may support more comfortable digestion and an easier morning. And the real secret is not just the fruit, it's the habit around it. Keep dinner reasonable. Don't eat too late. Don't drown the kiwi in sugar. Don't expect it to fix a night of overeating. Use it the smart way. That is the difference. So if your stomach has been feeling slow, heavy, or stubborn lately, maybe tonight is the night to try something simple. 1 kiwi. Maybe 2 if your body handles it well. No drama. No miracle promises. Just a smarter bedtime choice. Because after 50, health is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about finding the small things that actually make your body feel better. And sometimes the most powerful change is not a big one. It's the simple habit you finally try consistently. So tonight, before you reach for a cookie, a bowl of cereal, or a random late-night snack, ask yourself one question. Do I want to go to bed full, or do I want to wake up feeling lighter? That answer may lead you straight to the fruit your gut has been waiting for. Try it tonight. Your morning might thank you for it.